Hi, and welcome to another episode of Diary of an Inner Fat Girl. Today we're making one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with them. I think you might be obsessed with them. And that is my interpretation of Singapore noodles. And I have put together a really nice, simple recipe that I use often. And once again, I found a way to replace that noodle craving with something a lot more healthier. So here we go. So the first thing we're going to start off with is introducing all of our ingredients. So we have 1 egg, we have ginger, we have garlic, we have sesame oil. I use liquid aminos instead of soy sauce just because it's a lot less gluten and a lot less sodium. I've got some curry, I've got some 5-spice and Cameroon pepper. I've got some chilies, tomatoes, onions. And then I've also got some, I like kind of spiralized the carrots, and then I shredded my cabbage. So I'm making like a vegetable lo mein Singapore noodle, whatever you want. But these are the simple ingredients that I'm using. So we've started heating our coconut oil, and I'm going to go ahead and just fry the egg first. And the reason I fry my egg first is because I'm not really professional. It's just like, like jollof rice. Some people can make it all like in one pot. I'm not that girl. I have to break up my ingredients and put them back together. So while that egg is frying, I'm just going to put a little bit of salt and pepper. And basically, I found that the fresher my ingredients are, and I've said this a couple of times, the fresher my ingredients are, the less, condiments and stuff I have to use. So I'm going to just turn this up a little because I just want this to fry like a nice fried egg. Some people, when I watch it on YouTube, I used to see them like put everything in one pot and think I could do the same. I wonder why my things didn't come out nicely. But it's mainly because just different foods cook at different times. They get done. Some things get done faster than the other. Oh, I wish I'd actually scrambled these eggs before I had put it in. But oh well. You live and you learn. But somebody else, when they crack it at like Benihana or like a takoyaki, they just crack it and they break it up. But it's not working for me. I'm a at-home cook. So I'm self-taught, nothing professional here. Anyway, I like all my things like kind of well done. So you'll find that I tend to let my things cook a little longer than maybe the average person. So we're just going to let it cook for a while. And we fried the egg. It was boring to just film frying eggs. So here now I'm going to add the onions. I'm going to add some peppers and some, do I want tomatoes? I don't think I actually want tomatoes in this. Okay, well, a little bit's in there now. Then I'm going to add ginger. And I am adding, that was garlic, sorry. Now I'm adding ginger. So I just added some salt and pepper. Sorry, I just kind of got into my own little world. I forgot I'm supposed to be communicating with you. So I'm just going to turn this down. So as this is sautéing, I want it to get nice and well done. I don't like my onions and ginger not being really well cooked. So I'm going to cook this till it's well done. And while that's cooking, I'm actually going to go ahead and add the rest of my spices. So I'm first of all going to put 5-spice in. And then on the other hand, I'm putting a bit of Cameroon pepper. That's just my spice of choice. Everyone has their own. I'm going to put a little bit more 5-spice in there. Okay. And then I'm going to put some curry. Because I love curry. I put curry in everything. And it's actually really starting to smell delicious. And so I'm just going to mix it up. And the smell is really coming out. And then you can actually see that the things, the onions and stuff is getting tender. So we're almost near the end of our recipe. So while that's frying, I'm actually going to show you how I make a marinade. And the reason a marinade is so important is because sometimes when people are making Asian dishes, they have a tendency to just put the soy sauce in directly, and it really makes your food unnecessarily salty. So I really want to educate you on how to make a quick marinade. So I've got a bowl here, and as you can see, I've probably put about half a cup of water. I've not put very much in at all, just because I don't want very much water in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of curry in there. I'm going to put a little 5-spice. So it's just basically reiterating the seasonings that are already in there. I'm going to take the sesame oil and I'm going to put a little bit. And you know, one has to be really careful with sesame oil because it can get bitter if you don't use the right amount. And then I'm going to end it with my soy sauce replacement. You can use soy sauce if you want. I like Bragg's amino acids. I know they sell them at a couple of stores. I think they sell it at Ebano as well. And so I put like 3 tablespoons and I'm going to mix it. We can use more later if we need to, but I don't want to do it now. The next thing I'm going to add is the carrots and the cabbage. And you should just add them in order of the way you want them to cook. I don't like my cabbage being too soft, so it's one of the last things I always put into my dish. So I'm just going to first of all mix the carrots in. I don't want the carrots to be too soft, but at the same time, I want to feel like I'm eating noodles. So this time I'm going to let them be a little, I don't want to say al dente, because the truth is I don't even know what al dente means. So let me know, Ovagbe. Let me just say, I just want them to be a little softer, you know. I'm not going to speak too much English. Okay, so while that is frying, I've got it on a medium heat. I'm going to just increase it a little bit just to speed things along. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and add my cabbage. And this is, right now, as it is, if I don't add the egg back in, you currently have a vegan meal. I have a friend that I follow on Snapchat and Instagram. Her name's Yuti, and hi Yuti, shout out to Yuti, Theron. She's a designer. Anyway, she's going on a vegan diet, and so I told her that I'm going to do some vegan cooking on my show to show her how she can still enjoy some nice meals without having to add anything. So Yuti, this is probably around the area you would be stopping. I'm going to just add some of the marinade because I want it to cook. And also, this is the mistake a lot of people make. Instead of continuing to add more oil, make yourself a marinade so that when the pan starts drying, you can just add a little bit of water to it. And because, you know, you've got the sesame oil inside of the, because you've got the sesame oil already inside of the marinade, it's still going to cook the food really nicely. So we're just going to keep on moving it. So those people who are vegan, this is around the area that you're going to be just watching it, and you're going to be tasting the food to see how you want it to taste, you know, at the end. If you want more salt, or if you don't feel like it has enough flavor, you can just add a little bit more marinade. For me, I've actually just made enough for maybe 2 people to eat, and I'm going to show you how I played it in just a second. So this is where we want to taste. For me, it's still a little bit crunchy. Also, I feel like it needs a little bit more salt. So that's what I'm going to add. And I'm using sea salt. I don't use iodized salt. These are just some of the things, the little changes that I've made. Also, you'll notice I don't use Maggi at all in any of my cooking. Because Maggi has high fructose corn syrup, and also it has coloring, and these are just unnecessary chemicals and also things that bloat you. So I kind of stay away from them. And I'm definitely going to be showing you more recipes, more Nigerian recipes that you can cook without Maggi as well. All right, let me taste it now that I've added the salt. It's okay. I feel like I need to add more marinade and more salt. Oh, no, actually, I feel like I need to add more soy sauce, actually. And I'm going to put, that's why I told you we're going to use a little bit later just to keep it going. So let's let it soak in this. And I always prefer adding in my salt at the end because sometimes, you know, I don't know if you've ever cooked some stew and you just keep on feeling like I'm not tasting the salt and you keep on adding more Maggi, more salt, more this. And then at the end, it's just way too rich. And then you probably have to make like a chicken stock to water it down and get it around to the... Anyway, you understand what I mean. So I've learned to just be very conservative with my salt in the beginning and add it in at the end. It will still give it a nice flavor. It won't be like you just put salt on top of your food. But most importantly, you'll be able to control your salt content and intake. It's getting there. So now I'm going to actually add the egg. Isn't it starting to look all Chinesey and Oriental? And also, you don't have to use water, I should say, for your marinade. It even comes out better if you have chicken stock. I just happen to not have any, so I couldn't use it. But if you have chicken stock, it's also a great way. Okay, so here we have the final product. Here is our cabbage and carrot lo mein. And if you also, this is now just as I've made it, is a vegetarian dish. But if you know that you wanted meat or something, you can. This is the time you would add your meat that's already cooked. I would recommend for those of you using meat or chicken, pre-cook it, pre-fry it, pre-bake it, whatever you want before, just the way I did the eggs, so that way you're just adding things in and you're not worrying about, oh, this cooking on time or that cooking on time. So I'm actually going to use a small plate today because that's one of the things that I do to actually stay in shape. I actually don't eat from large plates anymore as much as possible when I'm at home. And if I go somewhere to a restaurant and they give me like a huge portion, I'll literally just cut it in half and ask them to pack away the rest. Because these are just things, because I'm a food addict, I have to be very careful about not, leaving temptation in my way. So anyway, that's a different story for a different day. So I'm just going to put a little bit onto here. Oh my gosh, looks so good. Ooh, crud. And you guys, I will definitely recommend you get like a spiralizer. And I've got my sparkling water as usual in my glass. And then I've got a nice lunch. Now for me, this is a good portion size. It's got my protein, it's got my vegetables, it's got my carbohydrates, which I'm getting from my vegetables as well. And actually from this, I will be quite full. But before, I would feel that I needed to eat the whole thing. But sometimes just ask yourself, am I full? Am I really hungry? But hey, let me taste it out and tell me what you think. That is absolutely delicious. That actually, it's still crunchy because I let it stay crunchy, but if you let it get softer, for my boys, for my kids, when I make it for them, I let it get really soft so they feel like they're eating like little noodles and stuff like that, because sometimes kids don't like crunchy things. Also, the flavors, because of the fresh garlic and the fresh ginger, the flavors are absolutely delicious. And so this is one of my favorites. And I've taught you how to make basically veggie noodles, lo mein, Singapore noodles, however you want to do it, call it. So veggie lo mein, really delicious. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Snapchat. And email us. Also, ask questions, send in recipes. We're going to try to do as many as possible. So thank you for tuning in and stay tuned. We're going to have more delicious recipes coming to you soon. Thank you.